What is the meaning of this?
I can explain.
I kept replaying the moment in my head as I sat at the long table, pretending everything was fine. Emily squeezed my hand and whispered, "Just follow my lead tonight." I nodded, even though my stomach was already tight from how her parents stared at me. Mr. Carter said, "So, Ethan, are you finally getting that promotion Emily mentioned?" I tried to smile. "Actually, I'm not applying for that role yet." Emily might have misunderstood. Emily's head snapped toward me. "Why would you say that? I already told them you got it." I whispered, "Because it isn't true, Emily." Her eyes burned into me like I had betrayed her on purpose. Before I could speak again, she stood and slapped me across the face. The sound echoed through the restaurant. Everyone froze, forks in midair, eyes locked on me like I deserved it. Emily hissed, "You embarrass me every time you open your mouth." I felt the sting on my cheek, but the real pain hit somewhere deeper, somewhere I didn't know could hurt like that. I whispered, "Emily, what are you doing?" She grabbed her bag and stormed out without looking back. Silence held the room until Mr. Carter cleared his throat and said, "Well, that was unpleasant." I stood up quietly and walked outside with my face still burning. Lucas was waiting by his car and frowned when he saw me. "Mate, what happened? You look like you took a punch." I laughed weakly. "Close enough." He stepped closer. "Tell me she didn't do that." I didn't answer. He sighed. "Ethan, she's been acting off for weeks. I told you something was wrong." I shook my head. "No, she just gets stressed. Her parents push her too hard." Lucas stared at me like he didn't believe a word I said. Before he could respond, my pocket buzzed. Emily's phone was still in my jacket because she'd handed it to me earlier. A notification lit up the screen. Lucas glanced down. "Who's Daniel?" I frowned and opened the message. He almost found out. My throat tightened. "Found out what?" Lucas muttered, "This is bad, Ethan." I stared at the phone, trying to make sense of it. "Maybe it's nothing," I said, but even I didn't believe myself. Lucas leaned closer. "You need to talk to her. Something's going on." I rubbed my cheek. "Yeah, something." The cold air wrapped around me as I stared at the street she disappeared down. I whispered, "Why would she slap me over something so small?" Lucas said softly, "Because it wasn't small to her. She's hiding something bigger." His words sank into me like stones dropping into water. I didn't want to believe it, but the message kept flashing in my mind. I said, "Let's just go home." Lucas nodded and unlocked his car. But I stopped when the phone buzzed again. Another message appeared. "We should meet tonight." Before he connects the dots. I stared at Emily's name at the top of the screen and felt my heart shift. Lucas said, "Ethan, this is proof." I shook my head slowly. "No, I need to hear it from her." He groaned. "You're too soft, man." I whispered, "Maybe. But I still want the truth." When I finally walked to my own car, my legs felt heavy. The night felt colder than it should have. I leaned on the door and said, "What are you hiding from me, Emily?" The phone buzzed for the third time, and this message froze me completely. It read, "If he asks anything, deny everything." I swallowed hard and said, "So it wasn't just a slap, it was fear." And for the first time that night, I knew the truth wasn't going to be something small. I sat inside my car and let the engine stay off while the street lights flickered above me. My cheek still burned, but the messages burned more. I whispered to myself, "Why would she be afraid of me finding out anything?" I never pushed her. Lucas tapped on my window. "You good? You look like you're about to pass out." I opened the door slowly. "I'm fine. I don't understand any of this." He leaned in and said, "Then stop trying to understand her and start protecting yourself." I nodded, but my eyes were still on the messages, as if they could speak back to me. I whispered, "Tonight isn't ending here." Something had already changed inside me. I felt it. When I reached my apartment, I closed the door and leaned against it, letting out a shaky breath. Why did she slap me? I whispered to myself, touching the spot where my cheek still burned. I tossed my keys on the table, trying to calm down, but the message from Daniel kept flashing through my mind. He almost found out. Found out what? I didn't even know what I was supposed to be looking for. A sudden knock hit the door. "Ethan? Open up." "It's me." I recognized Olivia's voice instantly. I sighed, opened the door, and she froze when she saw my face. "Who did that to you?" I turned away. "It's nothing." She grabbed my arm. "Tell me Emily didn't do that." I whispered, "It wasn't like that." She stepped inside angrily. Then what was it like? I rubbed my forehead. She was stressed, and I corrected her in front of her parents. She reacted badly. Olivia stared at me like she couldn't believe I was defending her. Badly. Ethan, she slapped you. I walked to the sofa and sat down. I don't want to fight about it. Olivia crossed her arms. You're not fighting me. You're fighting reality. I pulled Emily's phone from my jacket. There's more. Olivia frowned. What do you mean more? I handed her the phone and showed her the messages. She read the first one out loud. He almost found out. Then she scrolled and gasped. We should meet tonight. Ethan, who is Daniel? I shook my head. She said he's a coworker. Olivia snapped. And you believe that? I looked away. I want to. She sat beside me, softer this time. Look at me. You're blind because you love her. But love doesn't erase truth. I swallowed. Maybe it's nothing. She raised her voice. Stop saying that. People don't write deny everything over nothing. I took the phone back and stared at the messages. What am I missing? Olivia leaned closer. The truth. Before I could respond, my own phone rang. Emily's name lit up the screen. Olivia whispered, "Put it on speaker." I shook my head. No, I answered quietly. Emily. Her voice came sharp, shaking. So you just left. You embarrassed me and walked out. I exhaled slowly. Emily, you slapped me. She groaned. Because you humiliated me in front of my parents. You know how sensitive I am about that. Why would you correct me like that? I stared at the floor. Because it wasn't true. She snapped. You made me look stupid. I whispered. Emily, who's Daniel? Everything went silent on her end. I heard nothing but her breath. What did you just say? I repeated. Who is Daniel? She cleared her throat. He's just a coworker. Why? I closed my eyes. Because your phone got messages from him tonight. Messages that sounded like you're hiding something from me. She shouted. Why were you looking at my phone? I said softly. Because you left it with me. And because I'm scared you're lying. Her voice cracked. I'm not lying. You're twisting things. Olivia whispered beside me. She's gaslighting you. Emily continued. You're overreacting. There's nothing going on. You need to trust me. I asked again. Then why did he text deny everything? She stuttered. I don't know. Maybe he was joking. I whispered. Emily, it didn't look like a joke. She suddenly changed her tone. You're impossible when you get like this. I can't deal with you right now. Then she hung up. I stared at the phone. Olivia muttered. She's hiding something big. I rubbed my eyes. I don't know what to believe. Olivia said, You don't need to believe anything right now. You just need to wake up. The hours dragged on. I paced the living room, replaying Emily's voice in my head. Every word felt heavier than the last. I kept telling myself she wouldn't betray me, but the doubt kept growing. Around midnight, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Lucas. Check your messages, he wrote. My heart dropped as I opened the screenshots he sent. Emily and Daniel, leaving her office together late at night. Laughing, standing too close, getting into his car. I whispered, No, she wouldn't. Lucas called immediately. Ethan, did you see them? I barely managed. Where did you get these? He sighed. A friend of mine works near her office. He said he's seen them together more than once. My chest tightened like someone was squeezing it from the inside. Why didn't he tell me before? Lucas said, because he didn't want to ruin things if it was nothing. But after your text tonight, I figured you should know. I sank onto the sofa. Lucas, what is happening? He spoke carefully. You already know the answer. You just don't want to say it. I pressed my palms into my eyes. I can't accuse her without proof. He said, Those pictures are proof. I whispered, No, they're not enough. Olivia kneeled in front of me. Then what will be enough for you? I shook my head slowly. I don't know. I just feel like something is breaking. Lucas said, Then let it break, man. Olivia added, Because maybe it needed to. I didn't answer. I just stared at the screenshots, feeling my entire world shift under me. I barely slept. Every time I shut my eyes, I saw Emily laughing with Daniel in those screenshots. By morning, the weight in my chest felt heavier than the night before. I told myself I needed answers. Real ones. No more excuses. So I drove to her apartment and knocked. When she opened the door, she looked surprised. Ethan, why are you here this early? I stepped inside. We need to talk. She sighed. About what now? I held up my phone. The messages. The screenshots. Everything. Her expression hardened instantly. I told you it's nothing. Why are you still digging? I said quietly. Because I don't believe you. She threw her hands up. Unbelievable. So now I'm a liar. I tried to stay calm. Emily, just tell me the truth. She pointed at me. You're being paranoid. That's the truth. I shook my head. Then explained the messages. She snapped, he's a friend. That's it. I whispered. Friends don't say deny everything. She froze for half a second, then her eyes filled with tears. You're twisting it. You always twist things when you feel insecure. I frowned. I'm not insecure. I'm hurt. She sat on the couch and started crying into her hands. You don't trust me. You never trust me. I rubbed my forehead. Emily, I trusted you more than anyone. She looked up quickly. Then act like it. I stared at her trembling hands. I'm trying, but you keep avoiding the truth. She stood abruptly. Get out. I can't talk to you when you're like this. My voice rose for the first time. When I'm like what? Asking for honesty. She stepped back. You're scaring me. I felt a sharp twist in my chest. I'm not yelling. I'm begging you to be honest. She whispered, I can't do this right now, and walked into her bedroom, shutting the door behind her. I left her apartment feeling more confused than when I walked in. Later that afternoon, I attended a family gathering at the Carters' home. I wasn't in the mood, but Emily had begged me earlier in the week to go, and I didn't want to create more trouble. The moment I walked into the backyard, her cousin Grace spotted me. She approached quietly, glancing around before speaking. Ethan, can I talk to you? I nodded. Sure. She pulled me toward the side of the house where no one could hear us. Her voice dropped. You deserve the truth. Emily isn't who you think she is. My stomach tightened. What do you mean? Grace bit her lip. I can't say everything, but please open your eyes. She's been hiding things for a long time. I whispered. Is it about Daniel? Grace hesitated, then nodded. Among other things. I leaned in. Tell me. She shook her head. I can't. She'll destroy me if she finds out I said anything. Just protect yourself. She walked away before I could ask anything else, leaving my thoughts racing. Emily saw me and walked over with forced cheer. Hey, you made it. I looked at her closely. Why didn't you tell me Grace warned me about you? She tensed immediately. What did she say? I repeated her words. Emily scoffed. Grace is jealous. Don't listen to her. I whispered. Emily, everyone around me is noticing something. Why can't you just be honest? She grabbed my arm. Drop it, Ethan. Her grip tightened, and her eyes flashed with something I didn't understand. Fear or anger, maybe both. That night, I couldn't shake Grace's voice from my head. You deserve the truth. The words echoed in me like a warning bell. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the shared laptop on my desk. Part of me didn't want to open it, but another part, the part that felt like it was drowning, needed answers. I turned on the laptop and clicked through the folders. Nothing seemed unusual until I noticed a folder labeled Work Docs 2. Emily never used numbers like that. I opened it. Inside was a hidden folder with no label. My pulse sped up. I clicked it. Then the world seemed to tilt. Photos of Emily and Daniel. Messages saved in screenshots. Plans to meet late at night. Comments like, he doesn't suspect anything. My throat closed. No, I whispered. Every message felt like another punch straight to my chest. I felt sick, like the room was shrinking around me. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped the laptop. Just then, I heard the front door open. Ethan. Emily's voice echoed through the hallway. Panic shot through me. I tried to close the folder, but she walked into the room before I could. Her eyes widened. What are you doing? I couldn't speak. She ran to me and slammed the laptop shut. How dare you? I whispered. Emily, what is all this? She screamed. You invaded my privacy. I stared at her trembling face. Why are you more worried about privacy than the truth? She pointed a shaking finger at me. You have no right to look through my things. I whispered. I was looking for a reason to believe you. She stepped back, her voice unsteady. This is your fault. You pushed me to this. My heart stopped. To what? She didn't answer. She just stared at me with eyes full of panic, real panic. For the first time, I saw fear in her expression. Not fear of losing me. Fear of me finding out something much bigger. I whispered, Emily, what did you do? She backed away without answering, her face pale, her breath sharp. And I knew something was terribly, terribly wrong. I didn't sleep at all after Emily stormed out of the room. I just sat there staring at the laptop, hearing her scream in my head again and again. By morning, I knew I needed help, someone who could think straight when I couldn't. So I called Lucas. The moment he answered, I said, "I found something." He replied instantly, "I'm coming over." 30 minutes later, he walked into my apartment and saw the laptop on the table. "Show me." I hesitated. "It's bad." He sat beside me. "So show me, Ethan." I opened the folder. His eyes widened. Holy, she was actually cheating. I swallowed. "There's more." I clicked through the screenshots. Messages about meeting. Messages about me. Messages about her plan. Lucas leaned closer. "Scroll back." I did. He read one line quietly. "After the promotion, I'll be done pretending." He exhaled sharply. "Pretending, that's you, man." My chest tightened. "Say it." Lucas looked at me. "She used you." I whispered, "Why?" He pointed at the screen. "Because her company likes stable-looking employees. Because she wanted a promotion. Because being engaged makes her look put together." I shook my head. "So I'm just a decoration?" Lucas answered softly, "A tool." The word hurt more than I expected. He asked, "What do you want to do?" I rubbed my face. "I need to confront her again. And this time I want the truth, not tears." Lucas grabbed his keys. "Then I'm driving you. You're too emotional to go alone." I didn't argue. When I knocked on Emily's door, she opened it with red, swollen eyes. "Ethan, can we not fight today?" I stepped inside. "I'm not here to fight. I'm here for answers." She winced when she saw Lucas behind me. "Why is he here?" Lucas replied, "To keep things calm." Emily turned back to me. "What now?" I placed the laptop on the table and opened the folder. "This." Her face drained. "You went through my private files again?" I whispered. "Stop changing the subject." "What is all this?" She covered her mouth like she was going to faint. I made mistakes." I stared at her. "How long?" She trembled. "Ethan, please." I raised my voice. "How long?" Finally she whispered, "A few months." Lucas muttered, "Unbelievable." Emily turned to him angrily. "Stay out of this." I said sharply, "He's here because I can't trust you anymore." She began crying again. It wasn't supposed to go this far. Daniel and I just slipped. I shook my head. People don't slip for months. She cried harder. I was stressed. My parents were pressuring me, my job was getting harder, and Daniel listened. I cut her off. "So cheating was the solution?" She wiped her tears. "You don't understand the pressure I was under." I stepped closer. "Then explain the messages. Explain why you called our engagement pretend." She froze again. "Ethan, I didn't mean it like that." I whispered, "Then how did you mean it?" She looked away. "My company favors people who look stable. Engaged employees appear more responsible." My voice cracked. "So you used me to look responsible?" She whispered, "I wasn't trying to use you. I just needed help." I laughed bitterly. "Help? Emily, help is asking. You didn't ask. You lied." She covered her ears. "Stop yelling at me." I lowered my voice. "I'm not yelling. I just can't believe how easy it was for you to throw me away." Just then, the front door opened and Mr. Carter walked in. "Emily?" I heard shouting. He looked at me with cold eyes. "What's going on?" I pointed at the laptop. "Your daughter has been cheating on me." He didn't even flinch. "And why are you looking through her things?" I stared at him. "Because she slapped me, lied to me, and hid an entire relationship." He stepped closer, trying to tower over me. "You will not spread any rumors about her. Do you understand?" Lucas stepped between us. "Back up." Mr. Carter glared. "This is a family matter. Outsiders shouldn't interfere." Lucas snapped. "He's not an outsider. He's the fiancé your daughter destroyed." Emily cried, "Dad, please." He raised his hand. "Enough. Ethan, if you care about this family, you'll drop this now." I shook my head slowly. "I don't care about your image. I care about the truth." Emily fell to her knees. "Ethan, please. I can fix this. We can fix this." I whispered, "Fix what?" "The cheating or the using." She cried harder. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I whispered, "But you did. And every time you talk, it hurts more." Mr. Carter said sharply, "End this nonsense. Apologize to her and move on." I looked at Emily's shaking hands, her broken expression, the fear in her eyes. Fear not of losing me, but of her world losing stability. And something inside me finally shifted. I whispered, "No." Emily gasped. "What do you mean no?" "I'm done begging you for truth. I'm done apologizing for your choices. I'm done being your shield." She reached for my hand. Ethan, don't do this. I stepped back. You already did. Lucas placed a hand on my shoulder. Let's go. Emily sobbed. Please don't leave. I can change. I whispered. You already changed. I just didn't want to see it. And for the first time in months, I walked away without looking back. The next few days felt strangely quiet. I didn't call Emily, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel guilty about it. I just needed space to breathe. Olivia visited me almost every evening. The first thing she said when she walked in was, "You look lighter." I laughed softly. "Do I?" She nodded and sat beside me. "You've been carrying her weight for too long." I whispered. I thought loving her meant protecting her. Olivia nudged my shoulder. "No. Loving someone means they don't make you bleed every day." Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Emily's name flashed on the screen. Olivia sighed. "Are you going to pick up?" I shook my head. "Not now." She leaned back. "Good. Let her feel what silence tastes like." The following morning, Lucas called me urgently. "Bro, you need to hear this." I asked, "What now?" He replied, "Daniel is avoiding her. Apparently, he told someone at her office that he never planned anything serious with her." I rubbed my forehead. "Great. So now she's losing both of us." Lucas added, "Not just that, rumors are spreading. People think she used you for the promotion." I whispered, "Well, they're not wrong." Later that day, I got a message from Grace. "Can we talk?" We met at a cafe. When she sat down, she didn't waste a second. "Ethan, I'm sorry." I frowned. "For what?" She clasped her hands. "For not telling you sooner. Emily has a pattern. You're not the first." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" Grace hesitated, then whispered. "She manipulates people when she wants something. And when she gets it, she moves on. She's done it to friends, co-workers, even family." I whispered, "So she never loved me?" Grace shook her head. "I think she liked the idea of you. That hurt more than any slap could." She continued softly, "But she did care in her own broken way." I nodded slowly. "Thank you for being honest." Grace added, "She's spiraling now. She doesn't know how to lose control. Be careful." Her warning hung over me the entire drive home. That evening, Emily finally showed up at my apartment. She knocked like she was pounding on a door during a storm. "Ethan, open up." I took a breath and opened the door halfway. Her mascara was smeared, her hair messy. "Why are you ignoring me?" she cried. I replied calmly, "Because I need space." She pushed the door wider. "Space? Ethan, don't do this. I'm losing everything. Daniel won't talk to me. My promotion's in danger. People are calling me names at work." I whispered, "I'm sorry that's happening, but I didn't cause it." She stepped closer. "Yes, you did. You exposed us." I frowned. "I didn't expose anything. Your actions exposed themselves." She covered her face. "I made a mistake, okay? I messed up. But we can fix this." I whispered, "How?" "By pretending again." She shook her head frantically. "No. By starting over. I'll cut Daniel off. I'll do whatever you want." I sighed. "Emily, I'm tired." She froze. "Tired of me?" I whispered, "Tired of fighting for someone who wouldn't fight for me." She grabbed my shirt. "Don't say that. I love you." My chest tightened. "Do you? Or do you love not being alone?" She let go slowly. "You think I'm that weak?" I answered, "I think you're scared of losing control." She took a step back, trembling. "Please, Ethan. I don't want to lose you too." I whispered, "You already did." She began sobbing loudly. "You're cruel." I shook my head. "No. I'm honest." She stared at me for a long moment, then whispered, "If you walk away, you'll regret it." I closed the door gently. "No, Emily. I regret staying this long." The next day, Mr. Carter called me. His tone was sharp. "Ethan, we heard rumors that you're telling people lies about Emily." I rolled my eyes. "I haven't told anyone anything." He snapped, "Her job is at risk. Fix this." I replied calmly, "Her actions put her job at risk, not me." He growled, "You're making a mistake. We can make your life difficult." Lucas, who was beside me, grabbed the phone. "Try it. See what happens." Mr. Carter hung up. Lucas laughed. "They're terrified of the truth coming out." I whispered, "Good. They should be." Days passed, and Emily's calls got more desperate. Sometimes she begged. Sometimes she threatened. Sometimes she blamed me for everything. But each call only made me feel stronger. Olivia noticed it too. "You're finally choosing yourself," she said proudly. I whispered, "It feels strange." She smiled. Growth always does. One night, Emily called again. I almost didn't answer, but something in me wanted closure. When I picked up, her voice was small. Ethan, I'm sorry. I stayed silent. She continued. I thought I could control everything. I thought you'd stay no matter what. I didn't think you'd ever leave. I whispered. That was your mistake. She sniffed. Daniel doesn't want me. Work hates me. My parents blame me. Everyone's turning on me. I replied softly. That's karma, Emily. Not me. She whispered. Do you hate me? I closed my eyes. No, but I don't love you anymore. She broke down completely. I ruined everything, didn't I? I whispered. Yes. And only you could have stopped it. When the call ended, I felt something lift from my chest, like a chain falling away. Karma had finally moved. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet and final. She destroyed her own world. I simply stepped out of it. It was close to midnight when I heard the pounding on my door. At first, I thought it was a neighbor or maybe Lucas, but when I opened it, Emily stood there shaking, mascara streaked down her cheeks, breathing like she'd been running. Ethan, please. I need you. I froze. Emily? What happened? She stumbled inside without waiting for permission. Everything is gone, she cried. Everything. I closed the door slowly. What do you mean? She grabbed my arm with trembling hands. Daniel left me. He blocked my number. He told people at work I was a mistake. Her voice cracked. A mistake, Ethan. He called me that. I swallowed. I'm sorry you're going through this. She shook her head violently. No, you don't understand. HR saw our messages. Someone reported us. They took my promotion. They're reviewing my conduct. I might lose my job. I whispered, Emily. She cut me off. My parents screamed at me for an hour. My mom called me a disgrace. My dad said I ruined the family's image. Grace won't talk to me. She said I deserve everything I'm getting. Emily dropped to her knees and sobbed. I have no one left. I took a small step back. Emily, get up. She shook her head. No, not until you listen. I sighed. I am listening. She reached for my hand, her grip desperate. Ethan, I finally see it. I finally understand what I lost. I whispered. What do you think you lost? She cried harder. You. I lost you. I lost the only person who ever truly loved me. I swallowed painfully. Emily, I cared about you more than you knew. She pressed her forehead against my hand. Then take me back. Please. I'll change. I swear I will. I'll do therapy, I'll quit my job, I'll block Daniel forever. Just don't leave me like this. I pulled my hand away gently. Emily, you didn't leave me any choice. She looked up, eyes wide and red. What does that mean? I sat on the couch and gestured for her to stand. She didn't. Instead, she crawled closer, resting her hands on my knees. Tell me you still care, she begged. My voice felt like sand. I care about the person I thought you were. She blinked. The person you thought. I nodded. Because the person I thought you were wasn't someone who would hurt me like this. Wasn't someone who would lie to me for months. Wasn't someone who would slap me in public to protect another lie. She covered her mouth and whispered. I was scared. I was stupid. I was pressured. I shook my head. You were unfaithful. That wasn't pressure. That was choice. She crawled even closer. Let me make it right. I whispered. Why now? Because Daniel left? Because your job is in trouble? Because your family is angry? Her silence was louder than any answer. Finally, she whispered. I need someone. I need you. My chest tightened. You don't need me. You need control again. She froze. That's not true. I whispered. Isn't it? When everything was good in your life, you didn't look at me twice. Now that everything is falling apart, suddenly you see me again. She shouted. Because you're the only good thing I ever had. I shook my head slowly. Then why did you throw me away? Emily slapped her own face suddenly hard. Because I'm an idiot, she screamed. Is that what you want me to say? That I'm horrible? That I deserve this? Fine. I deserve all of it. I stepped forward and grabbed her wrists gently. Stop. Hurting yourself won't fix anything. She sobbed uncontrollably. Please, Ethan. Please. Don't walk away. I'll die without you. I said firmly. Don't say things like that. She whispered. It's true. You're the only person who can save me. I closed my eyes for a long moment. Emily, I can't save you. She stared at me, horror spreading across her face. You're saying no? I nodded slowly. Yes, I'm saying no. She stumbled back like I'd physically hit her. No. After everything we've been through. I whispered, yes. Because everything we've been through was one-sided. She screamed, you're heartless. I whispered, no. I'm healing. She shook her head violently. No. 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 You can't do this. I stood still. I already did. She backed up until her shoulders hit the wall. I have nothing left, Ethan. Nothing. And you're just going to abandon me. I whispered, I'm not abandoning you. I'm choosing myself. She let out a painful, broken scream and slid down the wall. I can't breathe. I can't, Ethan, help me. I crouched beside her. Calm down. Take deep breaths. She grabbed my shirt with trembling fingers. Say you'll stay. I gently pried her hands off me. I won't lie to you. I'm not staying. Her expression shifted from grief to rage. You'll regret this. I whispered, I won't. She stood shakily, wiped her tears, and staggered toward the door. Before leaving, she whispered without looking at me. I hope you're happy. I whispered back. For the first time. I might be. She let out one last sob and walked out. The door closed softly behind her. And just like that, every chain she ever wrapped around me broke. For the first time in months, my apartment felt quiet in a way that didn't suffocate me. I sat on the couch, breathing slowly, letting everything settle. Lucas was the first to check on me. He walked in with 2 coffees and said, You look like someone who finally slept. I smiled faintly. Maybe I did. He sat beside me. You did the right thing. I whispered. Then why does it still hurt a little? He shrugged. Because you're human, not stone. Later that afternoon, Olivia stopped by with groceries. You need real food, she said. I laughed. I can feed myself. She raised a brow. Can you, though? I sighed. Okay, maybe not well. As she put things away, she looked over her shoulder. I'm proud of you. I leaned against the counter. For what? For choosing yourself before it was too late. In the evening, Grace texted me. I'm glad you're free now. You deserved better. I replied simply, thank you. A minute later, she sent another message. Healing takes time. Don't rush it. Her words felt warm, honest, something I hadn't felt in a long time. I sat alone for a while, thinking about everything I survived. Emily's lies, the slap, the manipulation, the guilt she piled on me day after day. At first, I blamed myself for staying so long. But as I looked around my quiet apartment, I whispered. I wasn't weak. I was trying. My phone buzzed again. This time it was an email. The subject line read, I'm sorry. I froze before opening it. Inside was a long message from Emily, almost like a confession. She wrote things like, I panicked at dinner because I thought you were starting to see through me. I didn't cheat because I didn't love you. I cheated because I didn't know how to love anything. I ruined everything, and I know you'll never forgive me. Please don't hate me. I read the whole email once. Every line sounded like regret mixed with excuses, apologies mixed with explanations. I whispered, It's too late, Emily. Then I hovered over the delete button for a long moment. Finally, I clicked it. No reply. No closure conversation. No last words. Just delete. And for the first time, it didn't feel cruel. It felt necessary. As the night settled in, I put on my jacket and walked toward the same restaurant where she'd slapped me. The air felt different this time, lighter, almost gentle. When I reached the entrance, I stood there quietly, letting the memory replay in my mind. The shock, the silence, the humiliation. Then I walked inside and took a seat at a small corner table. The waiter approached. Table for one? I nodded. Yeah, just me. He smiled. No problem. I sat there, breathing slowly. No trembling hands. No fear of what someone might say. No voice in my head begging me to keep the peace. Just me, finally me. I whispered. I survived that night. I survived all of it. Lucas's words came back to me. You did the right thing. Olivia's voice echoed too. Choose yourself. Grace's message lingered. Healing takes time. I realized they were all right. Every step away from Emily felt like stepping back into myself. When my food arrived, I smiled and thanked the waiter. I ate calmly, peacefully. No chaos, no tension. Just quiet strength. The kind of strength I never knew I had. As I stood to leave, I looked around the restaurant one last time. The place where my world cracked open was now the place I reclaimed it. Outside, the night breeze hit my face, and I felt something I hadn't felt in a long, long time. Freedom. Real freedom. Not loud or dramatic, but soft, steady grounding. I whispered into the night, "I'm finally free." And for the first time, I believed it.